Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Denise, aka MissNiseReads, and today we're going to be talking about the books that I read not only in October but also November. This video has been a long time coming. Life has been lifing. So, we're going to get started with the October books. I read 4 and 3 were physical and 1 was through Kindle. We're going to get straight to it. So the first book that I read was My Sister the Serial Killer by, and I'm gonna butcher this, I'm so sorry, Oyinkan, Braithwaite. This was a 4.75 stars. The story really kept me on my toes. You really get to see the older sister struggle, and I talk more about this in my book review on my blog, so that will be in the description below. But I felt so bad for Corday because having to always clean up her younger sister's dirty work, everything. I don't blame her on why she didn't want her younger sister to, show up at her work. Everything like that. So, as I'm the youngest in my family, and even reading about Ayula, which is Corday's younger sister, I got aggravated because I'm just like, you've done so much messed up things, but yet your sister has your back through it all. And even the ending of it made me really, really tough because I thought it was going to be, the little sister, gets the punishment that she deserves after doing what she did, but she didn't. And that made me very tilt, not gonna lie. So, like I said, the short chapters really helped with me getting more involved into the story. Really loved it. I don't blame the author for writing Ayula the way that she did. This was a fun read. I highly recommend. So 4.75 stars. The next book that I read was The Empress of Salt and Fortune by Nghi, and this was a 4-star. And I don't have much to say other than this is like a series I definitely want to get into more. I will have to do a reread of this so that if I get the next book, then I know what's going to happen. This was just a book that I really needed to just sit, read, enjoy, have fun. This one was more of a leisure read, if anything. Obviously, it was really short. But the story overall was very much interesting, and by the end of it, I was just like, you know what? I definitely want to get into the rest of the other books. So, that's for sure. And one thing I know as well is Nghi can write. Definitely can write. So, this was a 4 stars. Really enjoyed it. The next book that I read was Josee, the Tiger, and the Fish. And the original story is by Seika Tanabe, and the art is by Emoto. And this was a 4.25 stars. The art is so beautiful. Let me show you some of the art, especially in terms of like the scuba diving aspect of it. Like it is so beautiful. The story is a reminder that despite your disability, you can still persevere and do what you want. You can achieve your dreams and goals. And Josee was a character I really did not like in the beginning, but I loved her development as a character. You get to see so much change in her, and I really grew fond of her. The main male character, I really liked him, but other than, loving to scuba dive and as well, wanting to go study abroad, I didn't know much about him, to be fair. There's a pivotal scene for him, and I'm not going to spoil it. I also did a review on this on my book blog as well. But there is at one point where it's just the connection between the two main characters, I very much adored. His friend, I was not a big fan of just because of the fact it was giving jealousy, it was giving bitter, it was giving, I know him more than you do. I don't know why you like him type of thing, and I was not here for it. The other thing why I also rated it for 4.25 stars is just the fact that the ending felt so abrupt. Honestly, it should have been, it should have flowed more together, honestly, and it shouldn't have ended the way that it did. But overall, I did very much enjoy the story. Loved the plot. Loved the art. The art was stunning. So, 4.25 stars. And then the last book that I read was Single in the Sheets by Josee Harper, and that was a 3.5 stars. Now, the reason why it was a 3.5 stars was just because I was so excited to read about Marshawn and Priscilla, because at the end of the first book, I was kind of more drawn to them, honestly. But as I read this story, like, I get, the realistic struggles of the relationship as a whole. And for Priscilla, not telling Jay that, oh, by the way, I like your ex. I get it. I really do. But it gets to a point where it's just like that miscommunication aspect was just not it. I was not feeling Jay for this book whatsoever either. I don't know what it is with Jay. I just don't like her as a character. But you do get to see the complexities of the two, and you get to see two kind of different personalities, with Marshawn being so upfront and everything like that, but then you have Priscilla. So I loved seeing these two have their really cute moments as well too, and just them being able to talk out what's going on. It's just, I was not feeling Priscilla much at all throughout this story, and kind of she was pissing me off. Like I said, I love the story as a whole and just the plot of it. It was just Priscilla for me that just was not doing it for me, honestly. That's why I rated it 3.5 stars. It was just, I think I'm at the point where miscommunication for me in terms of all that, not clear communication, is just not it for me. So that's why I rated it 3.5 stars. So I have the last book too, so I cannot wait to read that book sometime soon as well. So those were the books that I read in October, and now we're going to get to November. November, I read a lot. I read 8 books. I read 8 books. 4 were physical, and then the other 4 were through Kindle. So we're going to do a rapid fire for November. So the first book that I read was All About Love by Bell Hooks, and this was immediately a 5-star read. I've learned so much with this book. I'm not going to go into full detail because I am going to be posting a book review on my blog about this book, but before the end of the year is over. So keep an eye out on that. It made me see love more differently than I imagined, and I think I'm glad that I read this, because this is a refresher of things I'm like, I should do that I did not know about. So, like I said, I've read Bell Hooks stuff during undergrad, and I'm going to keep saying it because I have, and a lot of their work is so interesting. So I'm glad I read this, because I can do better in terms of love as a whole. I cannot wait to get to the second book for this little series. So, cannot wait. This was a 5 stars. 5 stars without a doubt. The next book that I read was The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl, and this was volume 1. And that is by Miyuki Tonogaya, and I rated this a 4.75 stars. When I tell you, I've seen some mutuals talk about this series and how it's really, really good. I wanted to read it. So I read the first volume at Anime Expo Chibi, and I really enjoyed it. You get to see the female MC and the male MC, their co-workers, and the female MC does a lot for the male MC because he is a descendant. And one of the animals, I forgot what it was. But seeing that whole storyline was so interesting because I really like the female MC. I really, really do. So I like seeing the friendship between the two and everything like that. Then I read volume 2 as well, and that was also a 4.75 stars. You get to meet more of the other characters in their workplace, and they also have a descendant of an animal as well, which makes me also curious about the female MC, if she has one or not. Do not spoil it for me, because I am continuing the series. but I really want to know. It got me really hooked, long story short. So I'm very excited to continue the series. Like I said, volumes 1 and 2 were 4.75 stars. Loved it. Then the next book that I read was I Hear the Sunspot by Yuki Fumino, and this was a 4.25 stars. I just want to know more about the characters and just more of their bond. I love seeing their friendship in like the first volume, and then for that to grow even more. This is a series I've also been wanting to read for a good minute now, so I cannot wait to continue it. I think for those particular, the Ice Guy and the Cool Girl and the I Hear the Sunspot, those I will have to buy physically at some point because, yeah. So I cannot wait to read the next one. And plus, like I said, I want to read more manga anyway. So that was one thing I did fulfill this year. So yay, go me. The next book that I read was Blue Lock, Volume 1. The story was by Miyuki, Kaneshiro, and the art was by Yusuke Nomura. That's my clock. But this book was 4.25 stars. I like seeing soccer involved in this. Is this a series I'm going to continue at some point? Who knows? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. It's just I needed another manga to read, to be honest with you. So maybe I'll continue the series in the future. But I do like the competitiveness and just the new people that you meet in the story. So yeah, 4.25 stars. The next book that I read, and the last 3 books are going to be physical while we're at it. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. This is volume 2, and the art's by Sleepy C. And the original story is by singNsong. This was a 4.75 stars. I really enjoyed this volume a lot. Because you get to see Dokja go through a trial where he has to be by himself and the others went with him. And you get to see so much go on. And this one really just stood out to me. But then you have the scene with him, the creature, doing some sort of trade little thing. That scene was so hilarious to read. I was laughing so hard. Also, can we talk about this is getting adapted into it's getting adapted into a film for a series, a TV series. I'm very excited for this. Very excited for this. Like I said, this is probably one of the top ones in terms of for the series as a whole. I have volumes 3 and 4, so I will be getting to those sometime next year. But this was a 4.75 stars. You get to see the growth of Dokja, and then when he reunites with everyone at the end. So, really enjoyed this one. The next book that I read was Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, and this was a 4-star. With this one, the plot stood out more to me than the characters, because usually if it's a 5-star, it has to be both contenders for me that just hit different. But this one for me, it was the plot. You get to see the second chance between Macy and Elliot. The characters for me felt bland minus Macy. That's just personally to me. Like I said, I love the plot of the story as a whole. With me, the only plot-wise thing I'm just okay was the alternating timelines from then to now. I felt like it should have been more needed for pivotal points between Macy and Elliot. Not very much so every other chapter. Because I felt like if it was for the certain key pivotal points, we should definitely see the flashbacks of then. I don't think we needed to see as many flashbacks, to be honest with you. Elliot was great. I loved his family dynamics. That was one thing I really enjoyed was his family dynamic. But other than that, he just kind of felt bland to me. And same with Macy's friend too. It just, a lot of the characters for me just felt bland. And I felt really bad for Macy for what she had to endure. I don't blame her. That's trauma right there. One thing, and then after another is crazy. That is insane. So I felt it for Macy. But like I said, 4 stars. Do I want to pick up another Christina Lauren book? I don't know precisely. I have no idea. I do know is that I did get through the book really, really, really quickly. That was one thing for sure. But yeah, love the plot. Just the characters were just not it for me. And the last book that I read, Past, Present, Future by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This was a 4.75 stars. I love this couple so much. I really do. They endure long distance relationship because Rowan's in Boston and then Neil is in New York. I felt with the long distance part because my significant other and I are in a long distance relationship. So there was a lot of aspects I'm like, ooh, I can relate to this. But at the same time too, getting to see how they handle it was beautiful, honestly. They still gave me that, oh my gosh, wholesome vibes, really. But I know they had to endure a lot too because of Neil. And my heart is with Neil full-heartedly. I forgot about the third act breakup, I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, I don't blame him really because he needed to get his stuff figured out. The only reason why it wasn't a 5-star, and I don't know if it's just me, when it comes to YA, I shouldn't be reading any, like, graphic scenes in terms of that. Like, I get it, they are 18, and they're an adult, but if it's catered to YA, it shouldn't have gone, like, you know, into that detail. You know what I mean? So that's why for me it was just like, okay, we get it, it's a YA, but I think for intimate scenes like that, it shouldn't be YA, to be honest with you. So that was my only gripe. I don't know if it's just me. It's just for me in general, YA and intimate scenes like that, just we no, I don't like that. So maybe it's just me. But I felt like because of those scenes like that too, it should have been a little bit of adult because they are in college. And as well, technically, once you turn 18, you are an adult. So that's kind of like where my stance in terms of that though. Other than that, I loved getting back into their universe, getting to see their high school besties and their college besties too. One thing about Rachel and Solomon as well, the friendships, I love the way that she rates her friendships. Spot on. I loved it. You get to know Rowan and Neil's roommates and then also along as their college friends, but you also get to see kind of like their college life as well for like with their classes and stuff. I felt Rowan in terms of like trying to write something, but it's just like you're not there, but at the sense you are. I've kind of been going through that, not going to lie, and it sucks. It genuinely sucks. So I could relate on that aspect, but as well I can relate to Neil in terms of his mental health. So I love getting back into their world and their universe again. And I'm glad that they were able to like sort everything out and, you know, be there for each other. You know what I mean? So this was a 4.75 stars. I love Rowan and Neil. In terms of YA, they're one of my favorite couples, without a doubt. So 4.75 stars. And with that, that is the end of the October and November reading wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what books you read in October and November. I would like to know. Make sure you follow all my social media. All of that will be in the description below. And until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.